Hi, I'm Taryn Lupo from TarynLupo.com. Stay tuned because we're about to learn all about alpacas. I remember in the 1990s, when you turned on TV, you would actually see ads to try to sell you alpacas. There was a huge run on them and there was a blitz of alpaca farmers everywhere. I always wanted to know more. So I tracked down the most successful alpaca farmer in the region.
Hi, my name is Deb Cilley. Along with my husband Ray, we started the Spring Pond Farm in 2003. We started with one alpaca and we left it at the farm that we bought it from. And then when we came back from Florida, we bought two more, and that's how the farm started. We live at 81 Muzzy Hill Road in Greenfield, New Hampshire, and we now do this as a full-time business. I do. Males and females will breed indiscriminately, which is why we keep them separate. What actually happens is, it's the orgling, it's the sound that the male makes that makes the female drop if she's receptive. And they breed laying down. So that's how you breed alpacas. And there's this process called spitting off. What happens is, after they have bred, 12 days later we put the same male and the same female back together. And if the female is pregnant, she spits at them, and it's called spitting off. And that's how you can tell whether the female is bred or not. Okay, with male alpacas, and females, there's no artificial insemination. So if a good male is born on your farm, people will make an offer to buy half, sometimes all of it. If you want to keep the alpaca, you sell half of them. And we have several here that we've sold half of. We sold one as young as 10 days old. He was just a baby, and we had a farm come and they wanted, because his mom was a champion, they wanted half of him. And we still own him to this day. But females and males, we breed them laying down. That's what they do. And you can breed them. This is kind of mean to say, but you can breed them 2 days after they had a cria. And that's what baby alpacas are called, crias. So you can breed them. They can be nursing and carrying at the same time. And we used to do that, but because of our limitations now, we indiscriminately breed discriminately, so we don't have as many as we had. And since the boom of the alpacas and the industry was close to importation, the prices have gone down significantly. But you can still make money starting an alpaca farm. You need to use the fleece, you need to use every part of them. The alpaca manure is used, we compost it. And a lot of people actually buy it from us because there are less weeds in your garden if you use alpaca manure. So we have compost piles. But the unusual thing about alpacas is they have communal dung piles. They always have one undercover, and they'll have one in whatever field they go out to. So they're easy in that respect because you don't have to worry about when you walk out in the field. It's just their nature. You can take them in the car, and they especially like it in the summer, because in the summer when it's really, really hot, in the hot sun, they lay in the barn in front of fans. But if you need to take them somewhere to do a breeding, or take a female somewhere to do a breeding, you can take them in your car. They'll load in the car and they get into the cush position, which I don't think we've seen yet, but it's where they lay down like a sphinx. They have, their front paws out and their back paws are tucked underneath. That's called cushing. You can take them in the car, especially in the summer. They like riding in the car with the air conditioning on. All you do is you put a little bit of the manure in a baggie, and they'll get in the back of the car and they'll cush. And if you have to take them a short distance, they probably won't get up. But if you have to go a long distance, they'll start to get antsy. And if they get antsy, you pull the car over to the side of the road, dump out the manure bag, and then they get out of the car, they sniff it, and they know where to go. Yeah, you can actually, some people litter box train them. We don't here, but some people do. And as long as there's dung in there, like if we surrounded that with a box, like a litter box, they would go there. So you never stall them. They go in and out at their leisure, even in the winter. In the winter, they prefer to sleep outside. And if we're gonna get a really big snowstorm and we shut them in, they have a fit, and then when we go out with the snowblower, they follow the snowblower, kicking up their heels and having a ball. When there's snow on the ground that's 6 or 8 inches, they'll sleep outside. So what they do is they run before they cush. They'll run, run, run. And when they get going so fast, and usually it happens more when you have a cria, which we do, they come off all fours, and it's called pronking. And what they're doing is they're speeding up their metabolism so they'll be warm. So then they'll all cush. And when you go to feed them in the morning and they come in, you can see where every alpaca slept in the field because all of the snow underneath them will be melted. If you're thinking about getting into alpacas, they're a wonderful animal to raise, but there are certain things that you need to know about them. One is they're herd animals. So you can't just buy one and put him out there and think he's going to be happy. You have to have at least 2. I would prefer you get 3. So you either have to get 3 females or 3 males. People start with females because they can be bred. If you buy from a farm and you buy a female, you should buy with a breeding from that farm. So we bought our first 3 from 2 different farms, and they were all bred. So that doubles your herd size. But you want to breed them to alpacas so that your crias are an upgrade. Out of our first group of 3, we got a female champion at 7.5 months old. That's how you start your herd. You never stall them. They go in and out at their leisure. They have communal dung piles. They have a split upper lip, so they need to drink water, but a lot of people think they're messy because they can't close a seal. They can't bite you because they have only teeth on the bottom, no teeth on the top. It's just a hard palate. And they can be they have to be separated, males and females. So you have to be able to do that. You can't keep the males and females separate. And this guy is one of our oldest gentlemen on the farm, and he does the best work for us. He's 12 years old. They can live to be, the oldest one I know, 17, 18, and still breed, still be breeding. So if you're going to start with alpacas, the other thing you need to know is they graze, but they're gentle on the field because they're soft padded bipeds. So unlike a horse that digs it up and goats that there's nothing left of the field, these guys don't do that. Your fields are always stay the same. The other thing is these guys will only eat second cut hay unless there is nothing else available. But if the fields get too high, Josiah has to go out and mow them because they won't eat them. They won't graze. They're very fussy. But other than that, they make no noise except an alarm cry. Oh, it's her. That's an alarm cry. The males only make a noise orgling when they're breeding a female. See, that's an orgling. Oh, she's smitten. And they're a joy to live with. Alpacas are related to llamas, guanacos, vicuñas, and camels. So they're all part of what's called the camelid family. Hey, I forgot to tell you, there are 2 kinds of alpacas. There's huacayas, which is what we specialize in, and there are surreys. The surreys grow down like spirals. I call them Rastafarians. They only get sheared every couple years because they can grow to the floor, and when they walk, they're real silky and it just sways back and forth. If you're smart as a new breeder, you will use every part of the alpaca. You'll show them, if they're good enough to show, and they're shown by 50% fleece quality and 50% conformation. And by conformation, that's exactly what he's doing here. straight front legs, you know, and the judge, you walk in the circle and the judge watches you walk. And so she watches you from the front and she watches you from behind. Then you have to stand, and then she checks their bite, she checks their back, she checks their tail for any kinks. It's all heritable stuff. But if you have an alpaca with good fleece, 50% is judged on fleece. So when I first started out with only 3, I used to wholesale my fleece to a commercial place, and they, you know, processed it. Now we're bigger and we don't use them anymore. We either spin our own or have it spun, and we have a store here at the house where we sell it. Alpaca fleece can go for as much as $22 for 2 ounces, and you can get as much as 5 or 6. We've even, actually not anymore because he's a little older, gotten 9 pounds off of him at one shearing. And we always shear in the spring because I don't like to be hot in the summer. We only have alpacas shorn once a year, and it's usually after the spring show seasons. We don't shear our own because we have too many, and plus we go all over the country and show them. So we have a professional shearer come in. But if you only have a couple, then you can shear them yourself. But I would recommend, you know, going somewhere and watching a professional shearer and learn how the process goes. Especially because you don't want to keep doing this, because they're called second cuts when you get these little bitty things and you can't do anything with them. But if you get your fleece, we also have the co-op in Fall River, Mass. We have a factory there where you can send all your fleece if you don't think it's good enough to be made into yarn or whatever, and you can pick, you send in pounds of fleece and they'll let you pick pounds of product, and that's how you get started. This is my alpaca store at Spring Pond Farm, and after we shear in the spring, after the spring shows, I come out here and decide what I need more of. Do I need more white fleece? Do I need more yarn? Do I need brown yarn? What do I need? So that's the way I figure out what I need for yarns. Then you have to decide whether you want 3-ply, 2-ply, fingering weight, lace weight. So there's a lot that goes into it. But you can, if you only have a couple, you can send it all to the co-op and you can get things made, like the hats that I have in the window there, and the hats that I have over here. They're all from the New England Co-op down in Fall River, Mass. But because we can't skew like a store can, so we have to separate by years. So you may see the same color in 2 different baskets. Doesn't mean they're the same, you know, year. So when you buy something to make a sweater, you want to make sure that you buy enough, because I've had people buy what they think is enough and then come back to me and what they bought is no longer there, and just because it's a black, it doesn't mean it's black. If you want to learn more about alpacas, you can visit us on the web at www.springpondfarm.com.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's your chance. Just click this button right here. Also, please remember to give this video a thumbs up, a like, a share, and if you have something to add, please comment below. One last thing is stop over at terranlupo.com to see all my private and unlisted videos. Currently I have one up on how to grow and sell carnivorous plants.